You ever feel like life is this huge journey, but you're kind of missing the map? Well, today, we're diving into a classic that's basically a guide for that exact feeling. M. Scott Peck's The Road Less Traveled. It's all about navigating a path that's complex for sure, and definitely challenging, but ultimately leads to some incredible personal and spiritual growth. So, let's get started.
Peck kicks things off with maybe the three most powerful words in modern literature. Life is difficult. It's so blunt, right? But according to him, it's the one truth you absolutely have to accept before any real growth can even begin to happen.
But then, right after dropping that bombshell, he completely flips the script. He says the difficulty itself, that's not the actual problem. The real roadblock is our own mind. Our tendency to run away from the hard work and complexity that life's problems demand.
All right, so let's start right where Peck does, by really getting to grips with this central conflict that he says is the root cause of so many of our struggles.
And believe me, Peck does not hold back. He argues that our instinct to find the easy answer, to fall back on stereotypes, and just generally avoid thinking too hard, that's not just some minor character flaw. He believes it is the central problem holding us back, both as individuals and as a society. So this really breaks it down into two different ways of operating. On one side, you've got simplistic thinking. That's the path of least resistance, right? Looking for those quick fixes. But on the other side, there's disciplined thinking, which requires constant effort and a willingness to look at ourselves honestly. Peck's point is that society is always pushing us toward the easy path, but all the real, profound growth, that only happens on the difficult one. Okay, so if simplistic thinking is the big villain here, how do we even begin to fight it? Well, Peck doesn't just leave us hanging. Let's dig into the toolkit he gives us to help navigate this pretty challenging road.
The number one most important tool is consciousness. And we're not just talking about being awake here. This is about a deep, active awareness of ourselves and the world around us. Peck says that without this, we can't even start to solve our problems effectively. It is the absolute foundation for everything else.
So, how do we get more conscious? Well, it's about turning towards the very things we instinctively want to run away from. Those painful truths, our own flaws, the parts of reality that just make us uncomfortable. That's where the real work and the real growth is.
And this leads to a super critical idea that Peck actually borrows from Carl Jung, what's called the shadow. This is basically all the stuff we push down and repress about ourselves, our flaws, our secret shames, our darker thoughts. And Peck's warning here is, honestly, it's chilling. He says ignoring your shadow doesn't make it go away. He argues that a stubborn, willful refusal to face it is the very definition of how evil takes root in the world.
When you look at it this way, it totally reframes the whole purpose of life, doesn't it? These challenges aren't just random punishments. Peck calls our world a celestial boot camp, a training ground designed specifically to help our souls learn and evolve. From that point of view, every single problem is actually a lesson in disguise.
So, we've got these powerful tools. How do we actually apply them in our daily lives? How do we walk this path? Well, it all comes down to the conscious choices we're making, moment by moment.
And Peck hits us with a really direct question. See, it's not about being selfish versus selfless. He kind of takes it as a given that we're all driven by self-interest. The real question is, what kind of self-interest are you chasing?
And here you can see the two paths laid out. Stupid selfishness is trying to avoid all pain to sidestep all problems, which, ironically, just ends up creating more useless, neurotic suffering. On the other hand, smart selfishness embraces the necessary pain that comes with growth. It's understanding that some suffering is just the price you pay for progress. This applies perfectly to how we handle responsibility. Peck points out two extremes. You've got the neurotic, who takes on way too much blame for stuff they can't even control, and then you have the person with a character disorder who avoids responsibility for anything at all. The road less traveled is that difficult, constant work of finding the true, healthy balance right in the middle. Finally, Peck takes us beyond just psychology. He takes us to the ultimate destination of this whole journey. Because this isn't just about becoming a healthier person, it's about connecting with the deeper spiritual reality.
He actually maps out a 4-stage journey of spiritual growth. We all start in stage 1, which is pretty chaotic and self-serving. A lot of us move to stage 2, where we find structure and rules in institutions. Stage 3 is that really crucial phase of individual questioning and skepticism. But the final goal is stage 4, a mystical, communal connection, where we move beyond dogma and feel a deep, personal link to the universe.
And getting to this final stage, it's not about choosing faith over reason or the other way around. It's all about integration. It's about being able to hold both of them at the same time and just getting comfortable with the profound mystery of it all without needing to have every single answer.
And so, as we wrap up, Peck really leaves us with a question to carry with us. Looking at your own unique journey, at the challenges you're facing right now and the tools we've talked about, which part of your road is calling for your attention? Whatever the answer is, that's the beginning of your next step.